And fighting in Australia was a very hard spot, I think, for Islam. So for me, with this one, I think I'm going to pick Islam in this fight to win it. And if it goes to the ground, I think it'll be a finish.
Started doing things a little bit differently. And him working with Jack Della Maddalena, you know, he's escaping different from the traditional way that everybody else has been doing it.
Incredible. So I definitely can get a finish. All right, favorite team. Islam's great. Him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can...
UFC experts are making bold predictions ahead of the highly anticipated clash between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena. And fans are eager to hear what top fighters, coaches, and analysts think about this matchup. Belal Muhammad, who has shared the cage with Jack and trained alongside Islam, analyzed the fight from a professional's point of view. He believes that if Islam takes the fight to the ground, it could quickly turn into a nightmare for Jack. Belal praised Islam's exceptional top control and world-class grappling, explaining that once he secures a dominant position, there's almost no escape. He also pointed out that Jack occasionally leaves small gaps in his ground defense, mistakes that a technician like Islam can exploit instantly.
Islam versus Jack, for me, breaking down this fight stylistically, obviously trained with Islam, fought Jack. It's going to come down to if it hits the ground. If it hits the ground for Islam, I think his top game is going to be really good. He's very smart, very controlled, doesn't let you off the hook when you make a mistake. Jack makes mistakes on the ground. He uses it to scramble. He has good scrambling ability. He has moments where he's like lapses safety, right? He'll give up his back, he'll give up his neck, he'll give up an arm triangle. And you can't do that with Islam. Islam's gonna see that and he's gonna exploit it. I think if Islam comes out wrestling right away and forcing that takedown right away, making that work, it's gonna be a long night for Jack.
According to Belal Muhammad, Islam's constant pressure and world-class wrestling could make this fight far more challenging for Jack Della Maddalena than many predict. Reflecting on his own time in the cage with Jack, Belal acknowledged that Jack's striking is crisp, technical, and difficult to handle, saying he's not someone who breaks easily. However, against an opponent like Islam, Belal emphasized that positioning will be the key factor. He warned that Jack can't allow himself to be pushed against the fence, since that's where Islam is most dangerous. Once Islam traps you there, the takedown usually comes next, and from that point, the fight can turn ugly fast. Belal also compared Jack's style to Alexander Volkanovski's, highlighting that Volkanovski is shorter and more explosive, while Jack relies on longer, more methodical striking, a rhythm that could actually benefit Islam. Belal added that if Jack extends those exchanges too much, he'll be giving Islam the perfect opening to shoot for a takedown and seize control. In his view, Jack's best chance is to stay compact and disciplined, because once the fight hits the mat, Islam's pressure and control could easily set up a finish.
Jack is longer, so he's going to have a longer torso for Islam to control, a longer torso for him to get on top of. Volkanovski made those spots harder because he's very short, he's very hard to read. Even with the striking, he's like a little bit more faster with his combinations. Jack does longer combinations, but I think Volkanovski is more explosive. And like I said, it's always harder to fight shorter guys. And fighting in Australia was a very hard spot, I think, for Islam. So for me, with this one, I think I'm going to pick Islam in this fight to win it. And if it goes to the ground, I think it'll be a finish.
Arab Davalishvili also shared his thoughts on the matchup, admitting that this won't be an easy night for Islam, but he's confident the Dagestani team will rise to the challenge as they always do. Merab described it as a difficult yet manageable test, emphasizing that Islam's combination of elite wrestling, precise timing, and high fight IQ makes him one of the most difficult fighters to figure out in the entire UFC.
You mentioned Islam. He's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling, and he's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down.
Merab also noted that Islam will likely review Jack's previous bout with Belal Muhammad and make the necessary adjustments ahead of the fight. Still, he cautioned that the threat Jack poses is very real. His explosive striking, sharp movement, and composure under pressure make him a genuine danger to anyone in the division. It's that mix of precision and power that has analysts divided on how this matchup might ultimately unfold.
So, and also, we all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and maybe Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible, it's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second.
On the other side, Ilia Topuria made one of his boldest statements yet, claiming that Islam Makhachev might not even make it past Jack Della Maddalena, and suggesting the Dagestani champion could be in for a rude awakening. When asked whether he would consider facing Islam next if he wins, Topuria didn't mince words. He confidently predicted that Jack would humble Islam so decisively that it would send shockwaves through the division.
ისლამის დამარცხების შემთხვევაში დამარცხებულ ისლამთან გირჩევნია ვთქვათ შემდეგი ბრძოლა თუ პირობითად გამარჯვებულ ცარუკინთან.
მოკლედ ვერ გავიხსენე სიტყვა, მაგრამ ისლამი თუ დამარცხდა დაბრუნდეს დაღესტანში, თავის ფერმაში. ნუ მოიგო კიდე წესო ხო? ხო, სხვარი მომწესოს.
Demetrius Johnson also shared a detailed breakdown of the matchup, praising Jack Della Maddalena's continued evolution as a fighter, especially after his impressive showing against Belal Muhammad, where Johnson saw him as a true dark horse contender. He highlighted how Jack's sharp, technical striking transformed what many expected to be a cautious bout into an all-out showcase. With high-level minds like Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski in his corner helping him prepare for Islam's grappling, Johnson emphasized that this is far from a one-sided fight. In his opinion, it could go one of two ways: a slow, strategic chess match or an explosive showdown that could steal the entire event.
Being able to finish him and just out-jab him. A lot of people said that fight was going to be boring. It turned out to be a banger fight. For him to take on a guy like Islam Makhachev, not steering away from that challenge. Islam is coming up, so he's going to be, I feel like comparably size-wise, they're going to be about even, Islam's super good. JDM's got Craig Jones in the camp to, battle. And Volkanovski to battle that, Dagestan wrestling. It's going to be, it could be two things. It could be a very, very boring fight, or it could be a very, very exciting fight. Meaning by the way it could be boring is if Islam's able to take down JDM and get his back, hold him.
Johnson also noted that the fight could become especially intriguing if Islam manages to bring Jack Della Maddalena to the ground and apply his trademark grappling pressure. He acknowledged that Islam has all the tools to control the fight there, but cautioned that Jack won't be an easy opponent to contain. According to Johnson, Jack's movement is unpredictable. His style constantly adjusts as the bout unfolds, and his calm demeanor under pressure sets him apart. He even referenced Jack's performances against Gilbert Burns, where he displayed composure and high-level technique. That poise, Johnson explained, is exactly what makes Della Maddalena such a dangerous and legitimate threat to Islam Makhachev.
Out-grapple him, stifle him. He could potentially do that, but the one thing I love about JDM when he fights is he never accepts the position. When he was fighting Gilbert Burns, great grappler, takes him down. Right when he gets up, he throws that knee into the void. Gilbert Burns ducks down into it. He runs into it. JDM doesn't accept the position when he gets taken down. He's always looking to grapple, always look at the anti-wrestle. That's what makes this fight exciting. And he's got some fucking good hands. He's not the way his boxing is, he's very tight. I'm excited for that fight just because we're seeing the best at 155 take on the best at 170. It's very rare when the moons align. Same thing at the co-main event.
MMA Guru also weighed in, calling this matchup one of his personal favorites and openly expressing his support for Jack Della Maddalena. He mentioned that he's been following Jack since his early regional circuit days and even encouraged fans to revisit those old bouts, which he described as featuring some of the most brutal knockouts in MMA history. Guru believes this fight will be no different, showing full confidence that Jack's precise striking, calm mindset and killer instinct will once again guide him to victory.
If you haven't seen it, go and watch back Jack Della Maddalena's regional KOs. Some of the nastiest KOs you'll see. he was destroying people on the regional scene. Started 0-2 in his career, went 10-2. After that, 10-fight win streak, and then since has been on a crazy win streak. I think he's on like a 17, 18-fight win streak now in his career, all the way through to UFC as well. I've picked him in every fight, and I'm going to pick him to beat Makhachev as well. Little spoiler for my own prediction video. But my take on this fight is amazing matchup.
Charles Oliveira also stirred up the MMA community with his bold prediction, claiming that Islam Makhachev won't spend even a moment exchanging strikes with Jack Della Maddalena. According to Oliveira, Islam will immediately look to take the fight to the ground and assert his dominance there. The former UFC champion's comments sparked instant debate among fans, highlighting just how unpredictable this matchup truly is. And since Oliveira has personally experienced Makhachev's ground control, his belief that wrestling will be the deciding factor carries serious weight and credibility. Oliveira kept his prediction straightforward. Having shared the octagon with Makhachev himself, he knows exactly how suffocating the Dagestani pressure can be. In his opinion, Della Maddalena's striking alone won't be enough to change the outcome, because as with many of Islam's past fights, this one will likely come down to control, pressure, and relentless takedowns. For Oliveira, there's no need for Makhachev to reinvent his strategy. He simply needs to stick to the proven blueprint that has brought him consistent success.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora no luta contra o Bilal.